Let things be.
Here we go.
Go for it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Church with a 2-Drink Minimum.
All right. Everybody ready? We're going to sing. Hey, Leo. I'll tell you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the church with 2-Drink Minimum. Welcome to the church with 2-Drink Minimum. We are interfaith, interspiritual, God optional. So relax and get ready for a celebration. Welcome to the church with a 2-Drink Minimum.
One more time now.
Welcome to the church with a 2-Drink Minimum.
Alrighty, you ready, people? Hey, humans! We doggies is right. Here we are on Sundays with one of my favorite places.
I know.
My living room.
And your living room.
Your living room.
Oh, that's so much fun. And I just want to say that we really enjoyed this morning's homily at Awakening Together. And if any of our friends are listening that haven't gone to Awakening Together's Sunday morning homily, it's at this very link. And just drop in at 10:15 and you'll be having a wonderful time. It was terrific.
It was.
And so I'm so excited to be.
Just to let you know
Right.
that today's lesson is going to be on continuing what we do here is an extenuation of Regina's homily today, because we are going to be talking about the creation of enemies.
Oh,
You know?
and how did you call it earlier? You were talking about drama.
Drama, or you're like, why do we create drama in
Why
our
do we
lives?
create
What's the drama thing about with human beings? You know, what's
I
that?
know.
What are we doing? Why is that a thing?
Because it's theater.
It's theater. I know.
It's theater.
I know. Do you live with the drama queen? Maybe you're the drama queen. Maybe you're the one that people have to live with, right? That are always creating conflict, always creating somebody to be mad at.
That's my cat.
It's also politics, isn't it?
It is. Oh, there's Tika.
Hi, Tika.
Hi, Tika.
Tell you what, here on Awakening Together, our show, The Mighty Companions, we have a thing that we like to do. It's called a sing-along.
Yes, it is.
And we've been doing it for a little while, and so you can listen to Reverend Yolanda as she sings the song, and it's become very important to us. The words and the lyrics are kind of fun, and we sing them to ourselves sometimes when we get upset. So I want to reemphasize the lesson today because it goes so along with our theme song. So our theme song is "Let Things Be Exactly as They Are."
Which has been so important to us over this whole year.
Hit it, Reverend Yolanda.
2020.
I know.
And look, Tika's going to sing with us.
I
Yay! Here we go. Let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change
Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You and me.
So you and me
We'll live in
live in
peace. Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
what anything is for.
Unless I listen to
Unless I listen to
that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
it's telling me
This simple truth.
this simple truth.
That everything is for my good.
It's for my good.
So let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You You can't change
Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
You and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace.
Well, what is the next verse?
What's my favorite verse?
Here we come. Woo! I'm not this body.
I'm not this body.
Although it is voluptuous and
It's
beautiful.
incredible and I love it.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
That you see.
that you see.
I am as God.
I am as God
Created me.
created me.
And we are all.
We are all
one family.
one family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible
To live in peace.
to live in peace.
So let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change
Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
You and me.
We'll live in
Live in
peace. Kumbaya. Yes!
And every show needs a kumbaya moment. And you've had your kumbaya moment today.
I know, and so have I.
I know it was really lovely today. I was sitting in the sun, had the sun on my face, and being outside, and
I know. That
It
was
really
really
was.
beautiful.
one of
And-
our favorite little cafes over here.
Hi, Reverend Jacqueline.
I know, Jackie's here too.
Hi.
So we, what this is actually really November is really a special month
It is.
in our house for a couple of reasons. One, we met on Thanksgiving
We did.
16 years ago, and we.
And y'all saw a clip of our wedding
I
last week
know.
if you tuned
Yeah,
in.
if you tuned in, yeah,
That was,
that's
we
true.
just had to share it with you because
Uh-huh.
it was so silly and fun.
A little bit more about us, you know.
Yeah.
16 years, you know, that's us
I know.
16 years ago.
Hold on.
Oh,
A little,
oh,
a little chunkier
I know.
now.
The body changes, doesn't it? You
I'm
know,
not
aren't you?
this body.
I know. Aren't you glad your happiness is not intrinsically associated with your body and the condition of your body?
Yeah.
Aren't you happy that, like, in order for you to be happy, joyous, and free, that it's not contingent about, you know, the shape, color, or gender body that you're living in?
Truly.
Isn't that kind of nice?
It is. It's
It is.
very, very interesting. We have an amazing. I'm talking about our Wednesday night class for a second here because we have an amazing group
Every
of
Wednesday
people.
from 7 to 9.
7 to 9. If you want to join us at all, it's on a different platform. You can email us.
DMs are open.
Or you can find that link actually at themightycompanions.com.
It's not hidden.
No, but anyway, the reason why I brought it up was because we've been learning so much from this particular group of people, and Arizona has joined us also on Wednesdays, which is a wonderful blessing. We have a particular person whose body is in pain like all the time.
She has a neurodegenerative disease.
Yes.
So she is physically in pain, and she has to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
She has to keep moving. Think about that. She has to be in constant motion in order to alleviate or normalize the pain for her. And she says she takes her pills in the morning, and she has 2 hours to get everything done before the pain starts to come back. So she has 2 hours a day in which feels like she's a fully functioning person. It's the way she describes it.
The way she described it. And it's fascinating because she really digs into this work with us and doesn't resist it, even though her body is in such pain. And I find that really amazing because I learned so much from that. All of us have our own experiences with our bodies, and mine is not that, and there's no comparison between these things. But it is fascinating for me that with all that she goes through with her body, she really works with these principles and finds joy, and she shares that joy with us.
So do you remember in the introduction to A Course in Miracles, it says 3 things? And the very first thing it says, the Course in Miracles can be summed up very simply
in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. And herein lies the peace of God. That's been our catchphrase on Wednesdays, and people are really doing that.
So what's real? And so engaging with what is unreal is painful. I mean, it says it right here. And engaging in what is real is not painful. It's actually uplifting, or we see things clearly.
Yeah.
And if you can see things clearly, you're able to experience in this three-dimensional body peace.
Yeah.
The experience of peace is located in the action of your decisions to engage with and prove that the truth is true.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is
it's
interesting.
Like
my willingness to engage in
proving that the
truth is true. And you know what? That's so helpful. Those three things: nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about how much we love the unreal, because how much we love to be upset.
We do love to be upset.
So we're going to talk about, he goes, yay, enemies! People to hate and get in my way and be wrong and like everything like that. Yay!
It gives me something to do.
I know. It's like, yeah.
All right, well, let's read the lesson for today.
Let's do that.
Because I thought it really all ties in so well.
We do. We love this.
With where we are in the text. Okay, so
it's lesson number
312.
And they're only 300. They're only like so there's 365 days. And the last five days are repeat.
Yeah.
So we
only there's only about 40 or 50 more pages. Lessons to go.
Coming up.
And it's interesting how the lessons change from, lesson number 1 to all the way through here.
And she builds on these concepts.
Absolutely. So we have arrived at 312.
And this is the section on judgment. Can you leave judgment behind?
Right.
And we're going to be talking about
which
that
we're going to talk about today. So it is, I see all things as I would have them be.
Oops.
Right. Now that's interesting, because I think the first time I read that sentence, I was confused. But let's see what she has to say about it. Perception follows judgment.
Okay.
Now, see, I didn't think about that to begin with, but it does. Perception follows judgment.
In other words, judgment comes first.
Yeah, exactly.
You judgy. You're a judgy.
Let's talk in the we
or
I.
We're being all judgy.
Yeah, so when I'm being judgy,
what I see through my judginess.
Right. So then she goes on to say, having judged, we therefore see what we would look upon. Right. Because you're looking through eyes of judgment and the perception of judgment. For sight can merely serve to offer us what we would have.
It's only, you can only see what's on your plate, right? So what are you putting on your plate?
Oh, I got a big plate.
I know. Well, we love the buffets around here.
I know, and there's some drama on that plate.
I know. There's some drama on that plate. I love it.
All right. It is impossible to overlook what we would see and fail to see what we have chosen to behold. Yeah. Right. So we make these choices. How surely, therefore, must the real world come to greet the holy sight of anyone who takes the Holy Spirit's purpose as his goal for seeing.
The Holy Spirit's purpose as his goal for seeing. What's the Holy Spirit's purpose for you? What's the Holy Spirit's purpose for your goals of seeing?
I would go back to nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal.
Read the next sentence.
Okay. And he cannot fail to look upon what Christ would have him see and share Christ's love for what he looks upon. So we were practicing that today in the cafe.
So what's the goal of seeing?
Christ's love.
To practice, to see the Christ's love, to look upon the world
through Christ's love.
To love what is. To love what is.
To love what is. Yes, let things be. So the prayer is, I have no purpose for today except to look upon a liberated world.
I'm just going to underline that for you. I call the Course in Miracles the manual for liberation.
Yes.
I have no purpose today except to look upon a liberated world
set free from all the judgments I have made. Father, this is your will for me today, and therefore it must be my goal as well. And I say, a human.
I have no purpose today but liberation.
Liberation.
I have no purpose today but liberation.
And our music and our message are going to reflect that today, I think.
All power to the people.
Yay, that's us.
Which is us, right? God says, give. A couple of chapters back, it's give everything to God.
Yes.
Give everything to God.
Yes, and I place the future in the hands of God.
I place the future in the hands of God. So,
which was my favorite.
Unpacking all the judgments and preconceived notions about what we think God is, right? Being out there and all powerful and needing to be pleased and all those kind of things. Look into the laws of chaos. Look into the obstacles to peace if you want to find out what we think about God. They're very, very, very interesting.
Wow. Well, this is lovely. You know what I'd like to do is our meditation and Circle of Love meditation. You know, these are touchstones for me and Glenn, and hopefully for you as you have visited us with us over the time that you have. Singing Let Things Be Exactly As They Are, and recognizing that unconditional love includes everything that I like and everything that I don't like, has been incredibly grounding for me this year. It is a practice. And I love ringing this bell. Ding, 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 ding. So we're going to do our meditation, and then we're going to rejoice with my song, I Love Myself. So please sing along.
Or learn the mantra already.
I love myself. So I just feel like
we learned it from Louise
Hay, but this is a day of celebration and liberation.
It is.
So I really wanted to emphasize loving ourselves first.
Liberation is available, turns out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know. You want to be liberated?
I do. Shall we?
Let's bring in the liberation. Let's bring on the liberation.
All right, let's take a deep breath 3 times, and the last time out with an Om. So here we go. The sound of Om, the sound of the universe, the sound of unconditional love, which we are made of. In our apartment here today, we can hear children outside, and we can feel the lovely weather coming in through our window, and we here with you consciously bring all of that wonderful energy into the room, and here with you, together with you today, we consciously co-create this circle of love, this circle of unconditional love, and we can't help but co-create it because that is what we are made of. And we realize in this circle of love includes everything that we like and everything that we do not like. So we let this amazing love energy bubble up inside of us and spill out into the room that we're in, joyfully spilling out into our apartments and our homes and our neighborhoods, our streets, our cities, our country, our world. We know and we recognize and we remember that us in America here are seated on the Native Americans' land. And in the space where we live in New York City, that tribe is called the Lenape. We remember and we emphasize that Black lives matter and that Black trans lives matter. And we emphasize that everything that is happening in our country and in our world right now is moving us forward. developing our consciousness, expanding our consciousness, creating new systems that include all of us. We love ourselves. And so, with that intention, let's enter the silence and then sing together.
And I want joy, and I want peace. I love myself, I forgive myself. My life feels good, and I can have what I want. And I want joy, and I want peace. Opportunity finds me, I create what I need. I'm open to suggestions, I accept success. I take responsibility, abundance flows through me, and I prosper, I prosper, I prosper, I prosper, because I love myself, I forgive myself, my life feels good, and I can have what I want, and I want joy, and I want peace. I love myself, I forgive myself, my life feels good, and I can have what I want, and I want joy, and I want peace. Opportunity finds me, I create what I need. I'm open to suggestions, I accept success. I take responsibility, abundance flows through me, and I prosper, you prosper, we prosper, I prosper, because I love myself, I forgive myself, and my life feels good, and I can have what I want, and I want joy, and I want peace, and I can have what I want. For all peace.
Oh my God.
If you ever get a chance
so
to
funny.
dance on the streets of New York,
Champion.
if you ever get the chance in New York City to go down the street with somebody filming you, you know, and like and on the streets, and, like we had like people like, who is she? Oh my God. It was
Oh my God.
it was a great experience.
It
And
was
she's
just
in
hilarious.
she's the fan and everything
I'm
going.
ecstatic, you know. Forgive my vanity. I was just having so much fun.
We had so much fun. But see, it's because when you're not doing that judgy thing,
Right.
you know, do you see, like, you're just emoting and being and just being all this deliciousness and sharing it with the world. And there's a lot of deliciousness here. So you're sharing this with the world. So it's like, without judging, without just like, oh, I'm going to judge you because you aren't going to like it. I'm going to judge you because you can't understand or see or won't, or I'm going to judge myself. I won't let myself.
I was judging myself.
How much
watching that
we
video, I
let
was judging myself.
the way we think the world is, or the world moves, or the world shapes, in order to affect our ability to even exist in three-dimensional form the way we want to, right? Judgment, that self-judgment, or in a lot of psychology, they go self-censorship, right? Or do we maybe even if you're a parent, you censor your kids? I know I was censored. Maybe you were censored as a kid as well. You know, don't say this, you can't say this. And some of it's absolutely completely appropriate. And I'm not saying that there's one blanket, there's one explanation on this. But we do know, you know what I mean when I say self-censorship, about when you've said something, when you've held back when you should have said something. Right. Or when you said something when you shouldn't have said something. Because you just let your thing get out. You know, I know I have. Do
you have an example you can share with us?
I do.
A personal example.
I do.
Be helpful.
I work next to a car wash, and that car wash is on a corner, and there's this crosswalk, and the little car wash people have a big sign out in front of the car wash. It says, "Stay off the sidewalk." It says, "Stay out of the crosswalk." It's this huge sign. You can't miss it.
How big is it?
It's huge. So I get really mad at people who can't read the sign or won't act on the sign. In the past, I've gotten a little bit better about it now. When they park in the crosswalk and cause us to go out into the street because they want to get into the car, or they're parked on the thing to get into the car wash, or they're parked up on the sidewalk. You know, it's like, I have been known to crawl on cars, and like I've been known to like lose my mind, you know.
Oh, okay.
So I tell that to you because it's like because I'm judging them. I don't, and this is in the past, and I've certainly worked through it. It's like I'm creating this world that's in conflict with me. Right.
That's a good point. That's a good illustration too. I'm creating this world that is in conflict with me.
The world that is in conflict with me, I am creating. Would be another way of saying it.
Okay.
Like I'm not creating the world, and it's in conflict with me. I'm creating the world that's in conflict.
Yeah. I like that.
Because the real world isn't in conflict with me.
That's right.
You're willing to believe that the real world isn't out to get you? Right. You're willing to believe that the world loves you and everything is here for your good, and everything that happens to you supports your good and supports your awakening and supports your
it's for all beings, for all life, for the universe.
It's kind of hard to do when you're in pain, though, isn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of hard when somebody goes out of their way to hurt your feelings.
Right.
Doesn't it? It's kind of
can
be difficult to do that. Well, the Course in Miracles is my jam. Yeah. I like it a lot. I call it the Manual for Liberation because I think it's the best way for a Western mind to understand the blocks to the awareness to happiness and joy and love that is lying and being all around us. It's specifically oriented toward a Western mind, which I have a Western mind. So this is chapter 27, and this section is the last section of chapter 27. It's called The Dreamer of the Dream. Chapter 27 is called The Healing of the Dream. Chapter 26 is called The Transition.
Right.
Right. So in A Course in Miracles, just very briefly, it's 2 sections. One, you're moving away from what you do not want. And the second section, after about chapter 18, chapter 19, you start moving into what you do want.
Right.
Okay? You find out that you're this bag of chips that you need to share yourself with the world. And then what we find out is like, why is that so hard? Why can't I give myself? Why aren't my talents being appreciated? You know, I went and I did this mountain thing and I got enlightened and I feel good and the world didn't change. What do you do? What are you going to do? The second half of A Course in Miracles can answer that question. What do you do and why do we find it so difficult? So it's called the transition because we were transitioning from the world that we were running from into the world that actually exists.
Wow. That's the
real
transition?
world. That's the transition.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so when she talked about the healing of the dream, so that is, I was making this world that was causing all this suffering for myself and others, contributing to the suffering of the others in the world. And then the Course of Miracles, that's the dream.
Right.
The part that doesn't work. Right. We want it to work so desperately. Lots of advertising has been spent on what doesn't work. Right.
Right.
And that's in advertising and marketing. So chapter 27, section 7 is called The Dreamer of the Dream. And in the healing of the dream, she talks about group dynamics. Okay? Because she knows that if we're one, you're going to need to be working with other people. Other people are going to be wanting to work with you. If none of us are doing this alone. You don't build your body by yourself. You don't beat your heart by yourself. You don't make your clothes. You don't nothing. We don't do anything by ourselves. And each person on this planet, thing, bug, bee, and tree is made from the same stuff. Right? Your body is made from all the same stuff every other body is made from. That's available.
Starlight.
The only thing that's available to us to make our bodies from, to make this existence from, to make material existence from, everybody else has the availability for it. So this is one thing. It isn't a million things. It's one thing. It's us. It's God. This is my way of talking about unity. This is my way of talking about oneness and wholeness. So if it exists, it is reflected. It is a reflection of the mind of God. If it doesn't exist, it's an ignorant judgment of what is being reflected from the mind of God. Is a way of thinking about it. So, who is this dreamer? This dreamer that is dreaming a false world. Who is this dreamer? Well, the dreamer likes conflict. I talked about that last week. The dreamer likes drama. The dreamer wants to keep us engaged in the dream, right? Wants to keep you in, trying. Ever heard the phrase "moving the goalposts"? It's a logic fallacy. Where you you counter their argument and then they move the goalpost. So it's like that's the ego. It's the promise. The way the Course describes it is it's the promise that never delivers. Okay, that's the abuser, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Next time it won't happen. Like or Lucy in the football. Lucy and Charlie Brown in the football, and Lucy goes, "Come kick the football," and Charlie Brown goes, "I don't know. You pull it out every single time." And he does, and he does, and I won't this time, and he does it anyway, and she does it, and he goes and falls on his thing because that is the world that they've created us, the relationship that they've agreed on. Right. So, who is this dreamer? In the first section, of Course in Miracles says, and I quote, "Suffering is the emphasis upon all that the world has done to injure you." Think about that mindset. All that the world has done to injure you.
That's what suffering is.
Suffering is an emphasis on all those things that hurt our feelings about the way the world is. So what's doing that? She's framing the problem for us. Now, are you being shown your own escape? In the first paragraph, she goes, if you can see what beliefs and foundations of what is causing your suffering, you can see the escape. Wow. But we don't do that, do we? We go, oh, that's a problem, and we try to wrestle it to the ground and fix it, or stop it, or control it, right? We learned a couple of weeks ago that if we're trying to control a material object, we're trying to control anything that moves and changes, that's not the solution, right? So what is the solution is understanding where the belief lies that is causing us to see the world as it is not. The blocks to the awareness of love's presence.
Okay.
Right? Very simply. So now are you being shown your own escape? That if you can see your own suffering as an emphasis on what the world has done to you, you have your escape. So if we can see the problem, and she says this, and it was kind of wild, it's in lesson 2, then you have a simple solution.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I have never really thought I had simple solutions to my problems.
Right.
Because I'm so complex. I am so, difficult to understand.
Me too.
I am a particular breed of human.
Right.
I'm very, very rare.
I am.
I can't. It's just too.
I'm the artist.
It's just
I'm
my
sensitive.
problems. You just don't understand. My problems are just like, wow, nobody can get them. So we're not seeing the problem if we're seeing it in really difficult solutions. That's an observation from A Course in Miracles. Can you see a simple solution in this? And I guarantee you that she's offering you that the simple solution is to change your belief about who you are. That's the simple solution that she's offering. But we're always peeling that onion, right? The second section, she says, it goes, in the world's view, we say it like this. We say to the world, you're the cause of what I do. Looking at the world. You're the cause of what I do. Or I could be looking at these people that are parked in the crosswalk. You're causing me to, jump up on your car, right? You're doing this. You're causing me to do what you do because I exist as separate from you.
Right. That's our belief, yeah.
You are the cause of my suffering. The world going wrong, doing things that I don't think it should be doing, is causing my suffering. No. Think about that again. What is causing our suffering is our emphasis on the belief that what the world is doing to us, we want to see as complicated so that we don't have to solve it, so that we can remain in the dream. Because it's not simple. Because it's too difficult. That's the fourth law of chaos. It's just too hard. It's going to be this way forever. Oh, well. So the world's view is, this is really happening. This really does hurt me, So this is based on keeping us in the drama and away from solutions. And through these last 2 chapters, in the second half of A Course in Miracles, the emphasis is on understanding and getting a handle on our fear of loss. Our fear of loss, our fear of losing connection with our loved ones, our fear of losing our place in the world, our fear of losing status, our fear of losing privilege, our fear of losing all kinds of things. It's the identity within ourselves that we are so committed to. Like we double down on the world is this way. No, you did these things that did hurt me. We double down on that materialist attitude. Right. So consider the fear of joining and the fear of loss being the same thing. She's talking about us in the second half of Course in Miracles is you've got to join with us. You have to join. Where you were before, you went in and you did the journey and you had your mighty companions and you went in the cave and you found out that you were the gift that you wanted to bring to the world. You come down and what you find out is you have to join the world. You've got to join the oneness. But we think that's just like, no way. No way, because the world's messed up, right? No. The world isn't messed up. Our judgments about the world are messed up. Our suffering is not what the world is doing. Our suffering is our inability to understand what the world is doing. is the world here for your enjoyment? Is the world here for your pleasure? Is the world here for your greater healing and enlightenment, as Regina would say? I'd say it's here for you to wake up. I think it's here, like Regina was saying this morning, that everything that happens to you is pointing to your greater good. Everything that's happening to you is pointing to your escape from what you do not want. So, saving, she says in the next paragraph, and we're going to get through one more paragraph here after this, is she gives you the idea in this section that what you're really trying to do, another way of saying it, is that you're trying to save the world from your ego. The world, your purpose is the salvation of the world from your misbeliefs. Now, think about what we do in our ignorance. We hurt other people in our own ignorance.
Right.
We hurt people because we don't know better. Or like St. Oprah says, hurt people hurt people.
Right.
Right? So, where are we in all of this? Where are we if we're sitting in pain, not knowing what to do? It requires, when we did this today, we did an exercise in the cafe. It's like, okay, so where is this disappointment coming from?
Right.
Where you keep going, keep asking the question, examine your feelings, examine why this is so upsetting to you. You'll probably come up with the fear of loss or the fear of joining.
Oh, okay. Just quickly, what we were experiencing at the cafe was, it was a beautiful day and people were driving around and whatever. So a guy in a car with his muffler all poked out and everything, and it was really
tricked out car that was making a whole lot of noise, and there's a young man in it playing his music loud.
And we're sitting in an outdoor cafe, right? And the car's right there, and I'm just so.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sunny day. And we're talking, and this car goes up, and Yolanda looks right at the guy, right through the window, and she goes, "Really?"
Yeah. Because he was that close.
I know, he drove right up on us.
And so it was an exercise to look at that.
So what are you feeling? What's going on?
Right.
What is this? Why is this upsetting? Why the judgment? What's the thing on this?
And I got notice me.
Why am I upset with this? Oh, it's because I like to be noticed.
Yeah.
And when I do things in my own life to try to just get attention in negative ways.
Right, exactly.
I'm willing to get attention in negative ways because I don't get them in positive ways.
Right.
And we know that tendency. We all have that tendency.
Yeah.
That's not So that's a pretty good example. So we don't. It's because we're not really doubting our own beliefs, and we aren't really doubting our own sense of the way the world is. I hope that you have a living, breathing skepticism within you that says, that's always going on and goes, am I really, is this real, does this person really hate me? Or is the world really against me? Or is this thing, all that I think that is going on, is this all really going on? Can I see and what I've begun to realize is that I can actually see my judgment. I can actually see it. Okay? Because I can see, it's almost like it's living in this terrarium, creating its own little world. My fear and anxiety and stuff, that it's sort of living outside of me, creating this world outside of me. That's how I experience it. So the world needs to be saved from your ego. And because we don't test how our beliefs are contributing to our own suffering and the suffering of others. And she calls this idea your need for evil.
Really? That's in the text? Oh, how interesting.
Your need for evil. Your need to be upset. Your need to suffer.
Right.
Your belief in your need to, be angry. Your need for an enemy. Your need for something to struggle against. Your belief that your need to do that.
I needed that today, actually. I needed to,
Well, sure.
I thought I did.
Sure, absolutely. If you're depressed, get angry.
Right.
Because anger moves you, it has the possibility of moving you out of depression. It's not one or the other. She's saying, do you understand how much your fear of loss is running your life? And it's losing the world. You can't lose the world. It's a reflection of you. You can't lose the world. You can't lose yourself. You can't be unjoined. You can't be uninvited to the party.
Mm.
You can't.
You're
We
here.
can't. You're in the mind of God. I'm in the mind of God with you.
Mm.
We are the mind of God. We are experiencing the world that God is reflecting as part of us, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, creating this world of peace is our mission, right? Is our purpose, right? This war with the world isn't real. It's really a war against other people's opinions about how the world should be. We're not ever arguing about the conditions of the world. We're only ever arguing about whose position or opinion is dominant in the world. Whose pathology is going to be dominant in the world. So we are creating a world of peace or war. We are creating a world of dreams or reality, and we are creating a world of awakening or a world of dreams, is the way that the Course of Miracles says it specifically. We are creating a world of war or creating a world of peace, dreams or waking, reality or dreams or reality, awakening or sleepness, peace or war. And we're creating the world that's giving us that experience. The world that is actually here is nothing but for our joy. So creating the world is something that we're doing for ourselves because we're creating our own experience of it. We're only ever looking at our beliefs. So she paraphrased this and she goes, this is your belief that you're tiny and the world is enormous and unmovable. She calls this your belief in your littleness. Right. Wow. Because the world is just so massive and it's so big and there's so many moving parts and I don't, there's no way, it's like I'm too small for God to pay attention to. Got it. Right? I'm too little, I'm too ineffectual, I'm already broken, there's nothing I can do, I can't get happy, I don't have enough power, I don't have enough zeros in my bank account, whatever it is. So it's the tiny you and the enormous world problem. The dreamer of the dream. The dreamer dreams it's tiny. So we could be seeing the world clearly, and that would eliminate all the drama. The drama is there to keep us inside of it. The drama is there to keep us in the conflict. The drama is there to keep the promise working, to keep moving the goals, to keep doing all those things. And we're going to do that until we don't do it. So there really isn't any reason like saying, to really beat ourselves up for that, is there? There's reason to like say, oh, I do that too. Yeah. I demand attention when I'm feeling bad because I'm feeling loss. So that loss, that fear of joining and loss, all of these things. The second half of the Course in Miracles I'm beginning to learning is like letting go of the idea that you can lose. Letting go of the idea that you can lose, things that can happen to you, that's not for your good. The world is working against you. There are forces in play that you don't, that are out to get you or don't have your best interest in heart, which is absolutely impossible. We have a choice now. We have a choice of engagement. We're creating the world that we want. We're going to use it to construct and create like like our purpose is, or we're going to use it to experience destruction and death and suffering. That's perfectly acceptable. So this self-knowledge is what we're after. It begins with self-knowledge. And it's the self-knowledge that loss cannot be. Loss cannot be? Loss cannot be. Really good. Yeah, the dreamer of the dream. So where are you in all of this? Is the good to keep remembering that, I'm seeing the world that I'm reflecting. I'm seeing my ignorance reflected back at me or my bad mistakes or whatever. So what we say is, listen to the voice that likes you. Because she'll tell you that we're one. And the voice that likes you, that still small voice that Yolanda talks about, and let things be exactly as they are, will even tell you and us and we how to create a world that acts like it. Listen to the voice that likes you. She'll tell you we are one, and she'll tell us how to act like it. And I'm Reverend Glenn Morton Ganaway, your favorite
Yes, you are.
Anarchist preacher, and you're at Church with a 2-Drink Minimum.
Cheers!
Bless your heart.
I love that, honey.
Thank you.
That moved me. Like, what was that about the second half? You were looking at
the second half is realizing that there's the loss cannot be.
Loss cannot be. He was equating A Course in Miracles, the second half of A Course in Miracles, showing us that loss cannot be.
That's the fear of joining. I say, I can't join this group. I'll lose myself. I can't, my family makes me. I can't be myself with my family. Can't join with my family. Can't join with my friends. Can't be with their work. Nobody can see where I am. I have to come out. Keep coming out of the closet. I can't. I can't be myself. I can't present as I want to because of all this judgment I live in the world. Maybe we're creating that judgment.
Right. Awesome. I love it. I want to play this last song before we you trip over Reverend Jacqueline's program.
Again.
So, I know, we don't want to do that again. So, we are going to celebrate with a song called Freedom.
Every thought we think, every word we speak is creating our future.
You know my soul is singing. You know my soul is singing. For freedom. Yeah. Are you in charge of your life? Do you make it your own? Do you follow your heart? Yeah. This moment is your home. Do you see love all around you? And let compassion fill your soul. And feeling all of your sensations. We are free and we are whole. And so our thoughts create our freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, yeah. Or do you love to suffer? Are you comfortable with pain? Well, try living in the flow, in the state of well-being. And don't you worry about tomorrow. You just stay in the now. All is good if you can see it. It all works out somehow. So our thoughts create our freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, yeah.
All of us are on a journey. Love and appreciate who you are. We are divine, magnificent expressions of life. The universe loves gratitude. The more grateful you are, the more things you have to be grateful about.
Does your intuition guide you? Or do you lay awake at night? Do you believe in the power? Yeah, 'cause you know it's your birthright. And in your moments of confusion, when you can't find the way, there's an answer deep inside you that puts you back in harmony. And so our thoughts create our freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Freedom.
Thank you. It's so wonderful. Thank you.
Freedom!
Our thoughts create our freedom.
So rock with me, baby, right now.
Oh, no. If you needed your 70s hit, you know, K-Tel has 70s hits.
That's
you know,
me,
moment
K-Tel.
right now.
We are angels. We are angels. And we're struggling to be human. We are angels. We are angels. And we're struggling to be human.
Love you all.
Thanks,
Take care.
everybody.